Alright, in this video, I'm going to be talking about running a resale business or just being in the resale business in general during a pandemic. 2020, as far as the resale world, and really a lot of it, everybody I know that has a business selling pretty much anything was crazy. You know, it kind of, when the pandemic started in March or so at first, nobody really knew what to expect. And for a few days, like a lot of people, I was a little bit nervous that, we were just people were gonna quit buying stuff and, would we just go out of business? I mean, who knows? Nobody really knew what to expect. But we quickly, most everybody that was out there selling stuff very, very quickly learned that that was not the case. And it got really, really crazy for pretty much all the year because you had stimulus money that was getting sent out, several times throughout 2020. So people had a lot of extra money. You had, unemployment benefits, all that kind of stuff. And then the fact that people, a lot of stuff that they would normally spend their money on, like vacations, going to a sporting event, going to a concert, going to an amusement park, all that kind of stuff they couldn't do. So they were getting all this money given to them and they couldn't go and spend it on a lot of entertainment type stuff. Couldn't even go to the movie theater most of the time. But, so they just went out and went shopping. I mean, we would have people come in, literally, I'm not exaggerating, I had people in my store every single day. And I'm talking about not different people, obviously, but you would see the same person come in the store. The next day, they'd be back in there again, then again, and they would have buggies full of stuff. It's a thrift store, buggies full of stuff over and over and over again. It was crazy at times. They were just buying like crazy. So then 2021 came along, and for the first part of the year, it was the same thing. But, there was still a little bit of stimulus money. And then you had tax season, in the spring. So it was a combination of stimulus money, and you had unemployment benefits that were giving people some extra money. And then you had tax refunds come in. So it just kept going. Like last year during the summer, it never slowed down. Normally for retail, summer's slow, but it was just crazy, never ever slowed down. Winter came, never slowed down. Spring came, it never slowed down. And then summer came here in 2021. And all of a sudden, because stuff opened back up a little bit, you could travel a little bit more. There were sporting events, baseball. You could go to a baseball game. You could go to the movie theater. A lot of stuff opened back up. So there were other places for people to spend their money besides just on stuff. And the stimulus money stopped coming in. So this summer became more normal in the resale business. And this would be the case if you're selling on eBay, selling on Amazon, going to the flea market, putting stuff on Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist, or if you have a thrift store or selling through an auction. All those kind of the same deal. Summertime came and it was more normal. People were going on vacation, still selling stuff, but it just got much slower, which is normal during summertime. Then normally what happens is when you get, school starts coming back, at least where I'm at, we start going back in August. So normally like the end of August into September, then you start to pick back up again. Right now, we're just kind of in the middle of September and it's still pretty slow. So what I think is happening is that we're actually now getting into a real actual pandemic economy. And it's going to start affecting the resale business. It's going to be much slower than it was last year, obviously, because you have stimulus money's done, you have the eviction ban is done, so unfortunately people are going to be getting evicted. So they're going to, and if they're not getting evicted, they've got to catch up on their rent, so they got to use their extra money to pay up the rent. Unemployment benefits are not what they were. And all that stuff combined, it's gotten back to, it's a more normal economy and more normal spending now as far as the resale business goes. I mean, you're still going to be able to sell stuff, but you're going to have to be more aggressive. If you just got into the resale business, like when the pandemic started, to do something extra to make money, then you've kind of been spoiled, actually. You might have been thinking, oh, these are tough times, maybe later on after the pandemic, then, I'm going to be able to do much better. But actually it was the opposite. During the height of the pandemic, and when it first started, it was very, very easy in the resale business. People were just snatching up everything. And the other thing is there were shortages on a lot of things. So if you ended up with those reselling, there were some items that you might be able to get actual retail or above retail pricing, such as appliances, because there was major shortages of appliances, and there actually still are. So if you got a nice used appliance, a lot of times you could get full on retail, or in certain cases even more. So going forward, it's going to be a more normal economy, not going to be the crazy, crazy, just, spending frenzy that it was. Obviously, you can still sell stuff, but there's going to be plenty of opportunity ahead. There's going to be buying opportunities because unfortunately, there'll be, like me, I buy a lot of storage units. There's going to be more storage units going to be coming up because people will be having a little bit more difficult time financially. And the storage facilities, they were kind of giving people breaks and holding off on selling stuff for a while. But at this point, that's kind of long gone. They've got to get the stuff sold if people aren't paying and move on to somebody that is going to pay. So there's going to be a lot of opportunities for buying. And obviously, if sales are down, then the prices are going to come down on those items too. So going forward, more normal economy. So you just got to make sure that you're buying right. You can't just, for a while there, you just buy anything, buy everything, didn't really care what you were paying, you were going to sell it, whatever. Now you're going to have to be way more careful with what you're buying, be more conscious, make sure you're buying sellable stuff, make sure you're buying it at a good price, because that's one thing that never changes. The price people will pay for stuff, it fluctuates up and down, but the price that you pay for an item once you buy it, that never changes. So if you got a bad deal, you got a bad deal. If you got a good deal, then that never changes. You still got a good deal. But right now, like I said, it's September when I'm making this video, September 2021. So we're coming up onto the shopping season, the holiday season. So yes, there's going to be plenty of opportunity to sell a lot of stuff. Because people are going to buy, Christmas stuff, but it just might be, some people might be a little bit more tight with their budget this year coming up. And so you're going to have to be more aggressive selling, more aggressive with your pricing. If you've got it on eBay, you're going to have to be more willing to take some of those, some of those offers or lower your price. If you're selling at a store, you're going to have to be more aggressive with your sales and all that kind of thing. If you have a booth at a thrift store, you're going to have to be more aggressive. Run percentages off, buy one, get one free, just reduce prices, whatever you're going to have to do. So to be able to do all that, once again, you're going to have to be careful when you're buying to make sure you're buying right. So it's going to be more important than ever to buy right. If you, like I said, if you've just been in this business for a year or two, you got spoiled on just, didn't really matter what you paid, you were selling. You're going to have to just be a little more savvy going forward. And I mean, that should always be the case, but like I said, when everybody's in a buying frenzy, it gets easy to just buy, and not really look at the price a whole lot. So basically, it's back to reality now. It's more of a real economy. And maybe even going forward, with inflation and all the other things that I was talking about, like the evictions taking place, might even be, a little bit rough economy going forward over the next year or two. Not really sure, we'll see. But one good thing about the resale business is I've always said that it's kind of recession proof. If the economy is really good and there's money out there, people are buying everything. They're buying used, they're buying new, they're buying anything they can get their hands on. If the economy slows down, then you have the people that were buying used, they're still going to buy used stuff. Or if you're selling, new items, liquidated, they're still going to be buying from you because, they have less money. So they don't have anywhere else to go. They're not going to start buying new at that point. And people that were kind of on the edge, they were buying new stuff, but they were still real budget conscious. They might start looking more toward buying a used item or a liquidated new item. So it's actually, either way, when it comes to the resale business, selling discounted items, selling used items, like I said, it's kind of recession proof. If it's good, it's good. If it's bad, you're going to have even, more people look at your stuff. So, either way, lots of potential to sell stuff, lots of potential to, to do really well. You're just going to have to be a little bit smarter, upcoming in the economy here for the rest of this year, and probably going forward past that, as long as as long as this pandemic is still going on and people are weary of getting out as much and different things like that are going on. And also one thing, kind of keep an eye on items that there's shortages on. So if there's items that there's shortage on, like I was talking about appliances, and I've heard that there's still short on supply of toys. So if you can get your hands on some toys, pallets of toys or whatever the case is for a good deal, come Christmas time, you might be able to do well, because if there's less toys in the store, people are still going to be out there looking, might be able to do very well. So keep an eye out on items that are, they're having shortages, production issues, and you might be able to do well that way. But just be aggressive, and there's lots of potential, lots of opportunity, even though it might not be as easy and good as it was over the last year during the height of the pandemic. But always opportunity when it comes to reselling, and there's always different ways to adjust and be successful. That's pretty much it for this video. So if you like it, hit that like button, leave a comment if you have any questions for me, and hit the subscribe button if you want to see more videos like this and us buying storage units and all that kind of stuff, everything that relates to the resale business. Hit subscribe.